Okay, Israel. AWS, Amazon Web Services. Ali Cloud. Yes. So Google Cloud is like that. Okay, Google Cloud is like that. So a lot of people will say, oh, but isn't Google Cloud a bit too late in the market? So I just want to just sort of introduce to you that actually most of us know Gmail, correct? Who here does not have a Gmail account? I wouldn't ask who has a Gmail account, but I'll ask who doesn't have a Gmail account. Okay, so everyone has one. Okay, so you know that there is actually an enterprise account where you can tie it to your domain, right? It is not gmail.com, but it could be moe.edu.my and so on. So that's the business that we started with when we started in Malaysia. A lot of companies and businesses were actually changing from Exchange or Lotus Notes onto Google as a platform. That's our first pillar of business. In 2017, we actually gone into infrastructure, core infrastructure. Everyone says go cloud, go cloud, go cloud, especially in the enterprise. Go cloud because they don't want to handle hardware anymore. It's time to refresh, so everyone is saying cloud first. So that's the business that we're in. We actually help companies to lift and shift off their off-premise to go into the cloud. Something that AWS or even Azure has been doing for a long time. The next thing is to also do data management or analytics, Tableau, visualization, on Power BI and so on. But a lot of companies say we want to build our own data warehouse. We have a lot of siloed information. We want to house all in one place, build a data mart, and then give parts of that data to different sides of the organization. So these are the three core pillars that we do. These are the customers that we have had the opportunity to serve ever since we started business as a Google Cloud partner in 2008. On the left side, which is your left, are customers who are on G Suite, which is the paid Gmail. On the right side are customers who only use Google Cloud Platform. So it's for their web servers, their applications, which are hosted entirely in Google Cloud. In the middle, you have customers who are both on G Suite as well as Google Cloud Platform. To me, this is actually a sign that's been happening. We are seeing more of our customers from the left and the right coming to the middle. We feel that this is actually an age of transformation now. I think this word has been overused today. How many times have you heard digital transformation today? Like 1 million times, right? Okay, I'll avoid that word. But these are the key challenges. Each and every one of us, or even companies, or even your agencies, could be either in the early stage, or the developing stage, or the maturing stage. I think, to me, that's fine. It's still a transformation. But we have to understand that there is a stage to it. And I've highlighted the key things. Usually this journey is tough because you have too many priorities. You don't know what to go with first. So the good thing here is that even maturing companies have too many priorities. So even getting the priorities right is the first thing. The next thing is also getting the strategy right. So this is our typical journey for any customer that we actually bring on in transformation. Usually it starts with a workshop to understand and to disseminate all the fears or the doubts. And then you go into a planning stage, deploy and optimize. I won't go too long about this, but what I want to share with you, this journey from start to end can be three months. For some companies, it's 2 years. So it's okay. We know that digital transformation is not about digitizing everything that you're doing. That is not digital transformation. Have you heard enough of this? Oops. Have you heard enough of this today? Everyone has been saying. So you know that a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, right? Right? If you just do things faster and more digital, maybe you just become a faster caterpillar. That's not digital transformation. That's just digital change. Digital transformation is when you become from a caterpillar to become a butterfly. That's transformation. Very big word, but what does it really mean? The good thing is, this is actually forcing us to become that way. We are past the cloud phase. We are sort of in the digital transformation phase era today, but we have to actually go into the intelligent enterprise space. And what is fueling this? All these technology trends are pushing you over to the other side, right? And you've been hearing a lot about this today. IoT, IR 4.0, the government is going digital, everyone's going digital. But what does it really mean? But before you can get there, these are all the normal challenges that you have to get past with first. Right? Does it sound familiar, all these challenges? First is security. Second is that there's too many stakeholders. Who can agree what is the biggest priority? And I think there are I hear for this conference there's 400 people. So how many agencies is that? Roughly, how many agencies is that? Hundreds? For how many? How many agencies are here today? Many, okay. But, sorry. So, this is actually a good journey. And if you know, the first part is actually security concern. That's why I thought that today, if you don't know Google Cloud, I thought it's important to actually talk about Google Cloud. But I think more importantly, because this government, it's also more important to talk about security. But this is sort of like the journey of moving towards transformation or even cloud transformation. If most of you are technical, you would have heard of all these MapReduce, Bigtable, Dremel. The good thing is Google Cloud is not an afterthought. It's not that when Amazon or Azure came up and became a leader in the market, Google Cloud decided to come out. It's not like that. In fact, all these technologies, which actually form what most of us use today as a cloud technology or even on-prem, all these technologies were white papers or research papers within Google, but they've become open source. And that's the key thing here about Google Cloud. Everything is about being open source. And why does Google not allow or does not cater for their cloud to run on-prem? Because everything in Google is purpose-built to run everything that they built for. And why is this? This is because it's secure. All the hardwares, all the softwares, they are not running on some Windows or some Linux. They are all custom built internally. And this is important because it talks about and refers to then security. This is where Google has all their data centers today and is growing. And this is where they lay all their private fiber network. If you add all these fiber network together, it's about 110,000 miles. So that's 4 times around the Earth. I hear it is probably now like you to lay them end to end, is from Earth to the moon, back, and probably now going back to the moon again. That's how much fiber cable that they are actually putting in. And encryption end to end is everything that they actually focus on. If you don't trust the encryption key provided within Google Cloud, customers can bring their own encryption key on Google Cloud. So these are all the certifications that Google actually observes. Now, my key point today is beyond all this, my intention is just to let you know that Google Cloud is mature and Google Cloud is having a very strong traction within the Southeast Asia. Of course, where are we and how is this relevant to all of you? It is not to get you to embrace Google Cloud just like that, because I know that that doesn't happen in a day. But it's good for you to be exposed to what's happening out there. So I had the opportunity after MOE, Ministry of Education, was speaking to Google for about 6 months looking for their new digital platform. Just before that, MOE decided that they were going to launch a new digital platform on Google Classroom. We were contacted by Google. And then Google told us that MOE wants to launch this on July 1st. Our first meeting with MOE, BSTP and PADU was on June 24th. And then when we came in, we presented our 3-month timeline to deploy 5.3 million students and teachers. Then they said, what, 3 months? I only give you 1 week. So you have 1 week to do this. And then I scrambled, I said, well, I asked Google, are you sure? 1 week to do this? So who here has actually administered a Google G Suite admin console before? Anyone? Maybe even for your own private domain. Have you seen the admin console before? No one. Okay, never mind. Let me just explain to you. In G Suite, you can actually provision a user via a CSV upload. So for most times when we deploy for customers, we usually just do an Active Directory synchronization, or we actually do a CSV upload to do bulk creation of users. And I will just share with you how we did it. But first and foremost, let's talk about why MOE did it. So MOE, for the 6 months, they were looking for a platform that was free and open. And they looked around. And Google Classroom was completely free. Free for 5.3 million users. Then they say, why aren't we using it? So okay, then they looked into it, talked to Google about it. And that's when, after all that talking and all that understanding of data privacy, who owns data, we came in to deploy. But what this meant for MOE is that they were able to actually create a student ID for every student and teacher in the country. And this ID belongs to MOE, which is actually an email, which is actually a code guru and also a code murray. And that ID doesn't change. And MOE internal system knows, based on this code murray, which student it is. And where is this student, which state, which school. And as this student progresses and use the digital learning platform, they will be able to profile the students or even the teachers. This is, to them, the value of the platform. So provisioning was just the phase 1. Phase 2 was really the introduction of Google Classroom, which the latest numbers I saw that there's been a lot of Google Classroom created. And we're happy to see that actually there is a very active teacher community on Google Classroom on Telegram. That Telegram group has almost 30,000 teachers seriously talking about just how to use Google Classroom. Then the third phase, which we are already into the third phase, is why Google? Because everything the 5.3 million users do on the admin console, there is an API that Ministry of Education is constantly dragging down onto their own data center to actually do on Power BI a visualization of usage, active users, and so on. And of course, this is where they tie back the IDs to the actual users themselves. So in all of this, I was told that the reason why it's chosen is because it is open. And there are APIs for MOE to take everything that is happening within the admin console on-prem. It is important to actually know here that as an implementation partner, we have no access to actually any of the private data. What we have is just a code of ID, the name of the student and the school that they belong to. Everything else remains on Ministry of Education, own on-prem data servers. To them, the value is whatever happens online, MOE can use an API to drag all the daily data in. Today, I believe that we have already created, within 3 months, 500 gigs of log data, and they are visualizing it already on Power BI on-prem. So this is the one that they were willing to share, because these slides were also presented by Dr. Wagi Shukri from BSTP, and he presented it during the Google Summit. What I'm happy to share is that within within 1 month, 500,000 school IDs actually logged in. And now it's 3 months, 1.5 million users are actually logged in, out of the 5.3 million. So our task in 7 days was to actually provision 5.3 million users and put them into these logical organizational units. There were 10,000 schools, which means that we actually had to create 10,000 OUs for them, and then place all the students into the OUs, and every school was a single OU as well. Using CSV upload, we could only upload and create that many users per day. So 500 users per CSV. In 7 days, we will only be able to upload, or rather, if you wanted to complete in 7 days, we have to upload 1,500 CSV files. Not doable. The team that was actually deploying this was only 2 people on my side, and on Padu team, 3 people. So 5 people deployed 5.3 million in 7 days. How do we do it? So of course we use scripting, right? We scripted using the script to actually create users through all these OUs. But then we hit Google's global limit. Google only allowed 150K queries per day, which means in 7 days we could only create 1 million users. So we knock on Google's door and say, hey, can you increase that limit? Because we keep getting this error, quota exceeded. So Google, next day, they increased it to 2 million, right? And when they did that, and they also allowed for 5 million queries per 100 seconds, because we actually had to ingest that many codes in order to create the users. We did this on 1 virtual machine. To scale this, we did it on 9 virtual machines in Google. So this was my engineer's table at night. So there is 9 virtual machines, 3 monitors, 1 Alienware laptop. This was how we keep track within the 2 engineers that were creating the users. And this was the rate that we actually created. On that single day, we actually created 1.7 million users. And then come the next part. After the creation, that's not the end of the story, right? How do you maintain this? Because I hear from MOE, every few months, there's a new batch of students. And then once a year, or maybe every quarter, some development area comes up, there's 1 new school. How do you actually maintain that with only 2 admin? 2 super admin for 5.3 million users? Impossible. So what they did was, we had to create an infrastructure using containers, where again, we have no access to the data. What they pump and dump into a bucket storage, and then our whole, how should I say, infrastructure then picks up without human intervention, is that we then process this file that they drop. The file that they drop only has user ID, name, and school, and that's it. And with that, we are supposed to do a whole bunch of processing, and then put them and create them and move the teachers and whatever throughout. So this whole process is actually automated. And that's how we make it sustainable. So we think that digital transformation is not just about technology, it's also a strategy, right? I would say that the BSTP, Padu taught it very well. We learned a lot from this whole thing. To think that this will become sustainable is something that we would want as a fellow Malaysian to make sure that this actually sustains and that this actually becomes the new stage for our new generation to actually transform. So you will see that the new generation coming out from school no longer understands the concept of a USB thumb drive. They no longer burn stuff into CDs and then pass things around. They will just click the share button, right? And the save button no longer exists also because they'll be using Google Sheets and Google Docs, you know. Everything saves by the minute. So you give them a PC, a heavy client with a client application, they will say, what is this? You know. So I'm excited about the future of Malaysia, and we are continuing to work with MOE. So this is the story that I wanted to share. Yeah. So I think that's my session. Are there any questions?